All right, so OpenAI just dropped an absolute bombshell on the world of artificial intelligence. It's called Sora 2, and honestly, it's a new video generation model that is so powerful and so controversial that it's making us ask some pretty huge questions about where media is headed. So are we looking at the dawn of a brand new creative age, or are we just opening the door to a whole new kind of chaos? Let's dig in and break down what Sora 2 is, what OpenAI promised it would be, and, well, what actually happened.
So get this, OpenAI isn't just calling this a simple upgrade. No. They're calling it the GPT 3.5 moment for video. And that is a huge statement. They're saying, you know how ChatGPT completely changed the game for text? Well, get ready, because Sora 2 is about to do the exact same thing for video. It's meant to be a massive leap forward in what's even possible. So what is it that makes this new imagination engine so revolutionary? Well, it really all comes down to a few core upgrades that are pushing the limits of realism and user control way beyond anything we've really seen before.
Okay, let's break this down, because the details here are pretty wild. First up, synchronized audio. We're not talking about silent movies anymore. This thing generates the sound, the dialogue, the effects, the whole soundscape, natively, right along with the video. Then there's the physics engine. It's gotten way smarter, meaning it can actually model how an object is supposed to float in water or how things realistically crash and bounce off each other. It's also much better at telling a coherent story across multiple shots, and get this, it actually listens to very detailed, intricate prompts. That's a level of control we just haven't had before.
But here's where it gets really interesting. OpenAI didn't just release some new tool for filmmakers. Nope, they launched the Sora app, a whole social platform. Think of it like a TikTok, but for AI-generated videos. And right at the very heart of this new experience is this groundbreaking and, potentially controversial feature they're calling a Cameo. So what exactly is a Cameo? Well, basically, you record a quick video and audio clip of yourself, or your dog, or even just an object, and the model cooks up this super realistic digital double of you. This digital you can then be dropped into any scene you can possibly dream up. Or, and this is the really important part, it can be remixed into videos by your friends. Now, OpenAI is really emphasizing that you are in the driver's seat when it comes to your digital self. You do this one-time recording, it has a liveness check to make sure it's actually you, and then you get to decide who can use your Cameo. Is it just for you? Can your approved friends play with it? Or is it open to everyone? And crucially, you can see and delete any video that uses your likeness, even if it's just a draft someone else made. You see, this isn't really about just making silly videos. OpenAI's big vision here is to literally create a whole new way for us to communicate. They see this as the next step, the natural evolution from texting and emojis and voice notes to a totally immersive, video-based way of connecting with people. Okay, so that's the shiny, perfect vision. But what happened when this powerful new toy was actually released into the wild? Well, let's just say it got messy, fast. I mean, within hours of its invite-only launch, the platform was just flooded with all sorts of problematic content that made a lot of people go, were the safety measures even turned on? And this quote right here from a report in The Guardian just captures that feeling perfectly. That whole promise of responsible, safe AI, it seemed to just fall apart almost instantly as people started pushing the system's limits in some very public and pretty alarming ways. And we're not talking about small glitches here. The problems were huge and pretty serious. You had outlets like The Guardian and 404 Media reporting on just massive copyright infringement. I mean, SpongeBob, Pikachu, Rick and Morty showing up in all these bizarre videos. But it got way darker than that. We're talking truly disturbing stuff, like SpongeBob dressed as Adolf Hitler. And on top of that, people started cranking out fake news, fake war footage from Gaza and Ethiopia, fake mass shooting alerts, just a total fire hose of what people are calling AI slop. So, this is the key thing to wrap your head around, this massive gap between the promise and the reality. The vision of a new creative tool clashed head-on with the reality of it becoming an engine for AI slop. That promise of your consent being paramount was totally blown up by the misuse of copyrighted characters. And the goal of creating joy and connection was just overshadowed by fake news and violent videos, leading to that feeling that the rollout was anything but responsible. Now, of course, in response to all of this, OpenAI will point to the pretty extensive safety systems that they say they built into the platform right from the get-go.
They call their whole approach a responsible rollout. And these safeguards are supposed to be layered. So every single video has what they call provenance signals, things like visible watermarks and invisible C2PA metadata, which is kind of like a permanent digital fingerprint to prove it's AI generated. They have content filters to try and block bad prompts and scan the final videos. There are specific protections for teens, those strong consent controls for cameos we talked about, and even safeguards for the audio to stop people from imitating living artists. So this all brings us back to the ultimate question, right? With all of this incredible power and all of this obvious peril, where does Sora 2 actually fit into this crazy, fast-moving world of AI media? What is its true potential? To really get a handle on it, you gotta see how Sora 2 stacks up against its biggest competitor, Runway Gen-4. And looking at this, it seems like Sora 2 is kind of winning when it comes to pure raw realism and getting the physics right in short clips. But Runway is more like a pro tool, you know? It has more fine-tuned controls, and here's the kicker. It's actually available to the public. This really shows you OpenAI's game plan. They're not just dropping a tool, they're building this whole closed-off social world around it. And man, this quote just perfectly illustrates the concern some critics have. It's not just about the tech itself, but about how it's packaged. Brian Walsh over at Vox describes mixing a powerful AI generator with an addictive TikTok-style feed as a recipe for a platform that could just drown us all in low-quality slop that's only designed to keep us scrolling. And that really frames the two sides of this debate perfectly. On one hand, you have OpenAI CEO Sam Altman hoping for a Cambrian explosion of creativity, but on the other, you have critics worried this is an unholy abomination that threatens our entire information ecosystem. Right now, honestly, both of those futures feel equally possible. And that right there leaves us with the big final question, doesn't it? Because look, this technology isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. So as that line between what's real and what's fake gets blurrier and blurrier, and as the AI itself becomes the artist, the filmmaker, what happens to our shared sense of truth? And maybe even more important, what's our role in all of this? What's our responsibility as we try to navigate this brand new kind of chaotic media world?